All right, what's your name and what company are you cooking for today?
Dennis Jarrett, I cook with Steffes Corporation.
Now, are you employed with Steffes or are you a ringer like all these other guys I'm finding out?
No, I work for Steffes.
Okay, I just did a story on Steffes about their water heaters, which PMJ has in their lobby, and so you guys are kind of revolutionizing some of the smart heaters and that sort of thing. So kudos to you guys there by being innovative in this energy world. So let's talk a little bit about smoking and cooking barbecue. So what are we cooking today?
Well, today we cooked pork butt and then pulled it. It's a pulled pork, and then we did baby back ribs.
Well, you did both. So let's start with the pork butt. Give me time and marinades and rubs and just kind of, the process, what went into it.
I start with an injection, then it sits overnight, and then right before it goes on the fire, we'll put our dry rub on. And I cook it today, since we're limited on time, and I didn't feel like cooking overnight on there. We cooked it about 300 for 4 to 4.5 hours, really up to an internal temperature of about 135, 140 degrees. Then we'll pull it and wrap it for 3 to 4 hours at 300 just to finish it, and then it goes into a cooler to rest for a couple hours.
If you didn't have a time restraint, how long would the process normally take, do you think?
Typically, pork butt that's about 7-8 pounds, you're looking at 14 hours on a regular slow low cook at 200 to 225.
How about the ribs? Talk to me about the process with the ribs.
Well, with the ribs, I always start with a mustard rub and let that sit. Let it sit in mustard overnight. Just a nice layer of mustard on top of it. Then when we're ready to cook them, we'll of course put some dry rub on it, and it'll go in at about 250 for roughly 2 hours. Most of the time I do it by feel. I'll pick up the rack and how does it feel, if it's ready or not. Then we'll pull it and wrap it. And the whole time that's cooking in the smoke, we're also spritzing it about every 20 minutes, half hour with apple juice. Keep the moisture in. And after it's been on a couple hours, we'll pull it out, wrap it, put it back on the heat for a couple more hours, and then pull it and put it in the cooler to rest for at least an hour.
How about when it comes to either having a pan of water in there to kind of help with the steam and keep it moist, and also do you use any kind of hickory or charcoal or pecan or anything?
Well, today I'm using a combination of apple and pecan, and on the pork butts we did a little bit of hickory. Just pretty much one smoke round till it started burning out of hickory. I like the flavors of apple and pecan. Apple adds a little bit of sweetness in the smoke, and pecan's kind of a really mild, mellow smoke. And I think it just adds good. All the ribs we did today were strictly on pecan. Okay. And forget what the rest of the question was.
The water pan.
Oh, the water pan? This round I actually didn't do any water pan because we added supplemental moisture by spritzing with apple juice on there. Typically on a long smoke, I will have an extra water pan just to keep the moisture in there, because a lot of times if you're running a propane smoker or something like that, you're not checking it all that often. So you need something that's going to keep that moisture going in there.
All right, how about for tips for any young or old aspiring pit masters? What would be your advice for them?
Go read stuff on the internet. The internet's full of all sorts of tips and tricks, really. Or come to something like this and just talk to people. I'm always willing to share information on how to do it. I won't give you my rub recipe, I won't give you my barbecue sauce recipe, but I'll tell you how to cook it. Because I would say there is a level of art to cooking something and a feel. And that's, you got to get out and do it. I think anybody can smoke. There's all sorts of smokers out there. We've got a variety here. We've got propane smokers, and then we've got stick burners, charcoal and wood, which is my preference, except it takes more attention. Mm-hmm. I also have an electric smoker at home that I use at least once a week. That's for the quick, throw it in there, go away for a while. You know, and anybody can do it. There's a smoker out there for anybody. Just don't be afraid to try if you like barbecue.
What's your favorite thing to barbecue?
Pork loin.
Pork loin.
I'll say it, an amazing pork loin. Just, I have found that that's the meat that I cook the best, and I don't do it here. I also like brisket though too. I really love to do brisket, but that's an 18-hour cook. I refuse to try to go fast with a brisket.
You mentioned you make your own barbecue sauce. What style would that be? Is it a vinegar base? Is it a sweet? Is it spicy?
My personal preference is a vinegar-based barbecue sauce. So that's my recipe is vinegar-based. I made one today that was kind of an experiment that's actually really sweet. It's got apricots in it.
Oh, okay.
And it's real sweet and not really zesty in there, but the only thing I can think of that people could relate it to would be like sweet and sour sauce, but more on the sweet than on the sour.
Okay. That's it, man. Thank you.
All right, thank you.